Asked to assume the role along with then Governor Sonny Perdue of Georgia and as the co-chair of the Common Core Standards Committee. And I was pleased to do that because in my mind it was really symbolic and reflective of the need for all of us to be a lot more honest with our students about, and with our kids and with their families about what it's going to take to be successful. And here's what I mean by that. I'm actually going to use an analogy that Mark Morial used a few moments ago. I'm going to take it a little bit further than he did, but it's a very similar analogy. And he talked about the basketball, shooting at the 10-foot hoop or the 9-foot hoop. And so the way I see it is what we've been doing in this country for a long time now is the academic equivalent of having our kids learn to play basketball by shooting in an 8-foot basket. And the issue is you can actually get very good shooting in an 8-foot basket. The problem is you then get into a game, and you're playing against players who are shooting at a regulation basket, which is 10 feet. And the reason I say that is because if every state's required under federal law to administer a state standardized test. Now these tests don't have to have anything to do with each other from one state to the next. They don't have to measure the same things, and they don't have to use the same measurement scale. And so what we end up with as a result is something that is akin to Garrison Keillor and Lake Wobegon, where every kid is above average. And the reason I say that is if you compare the scores on these state tests to the scores on the National Assessment of Educational Progress, the NAEPS, or what's called the Nation's Report Card, the scores on these state tests tend to be a whole lot higher than the NAEPS scores. And then what's even lower than that are the scores on the PISA, the Program for International Student Assessment. These are the international scores. And so when you tell a kid that they are proficient based on a test that's administered within their state's borders, but then they have to compete for college and jobs for students who are not from within their state's borders, you're not being very honest with them. And in my view, a dose of honesty is very much in order. And that's really part of what a Common Core relates to. Now in Delaware, the first thing we did is we came to this conclusion. The first thing we did is we said, all right, well, we're gonna raise the bar. And so we made the decision. We changed the scale, and we said to kids and their parents and teachers that you may have been rated proficient in the past based on a certain level of knowledge, but a lot fewer of you are going to be judged as proficient in the future. Not because you know anything less, but because we're going to be more honest with you about what proficiency really means in this economy. Now you can imagine that was not a very popular thing to do. To literally go around, we had town hall meetings all